Welcome to The Abundance Journey, the show that helps spiritual entrepreneurs create an abundance mindset that accelerates revenue. Secretly, everything you experience in your life is actually abundance. Once you understand how to activate abundance, you find yourself in flow with your business and clients, so it's easy to create the revenue you want. The Abundance Journey is the only show that activates abundance for you, so you enjoy rapid results in your business. Here's your host, the Abundance Ambassador, Elaine Starling.
I've got a really important question for you, and I want you to think about this honestly and think about it from your heart. Are you hiding in plain sight? Are you playing small when you know in your heart that what you do can make a massive difference for other people? Are you letting fear hold you back? Because business can feel like a chicken and egg situation, and you're not sure if you're making an omelet or making a sandwich. Well, today, I'm asking you to take a leap into visibility, to share and shine your light because you are so needed right now. So many small business owners are experiencing a massive gap. It's that difference between where they are now in their business and where they want to be, making a big difference by serving a lot of different people. I think about this as living your truth. The problem is, when you hide in plain sight, you are not living your truth. You are not living the fullness and majesty of who you truly are. There's a strategic foundation that is required for all successful businesses. That strategic foundation is what allows your business to scale so you can do less and focus on the right things in your business, like the magic that you are. When you're coming from your full divine self, you put pieces in the right order to connect the dots, fill the gaps, and create a scalable, profitable, impactful business that makes a difference, because that is what fulfills you and allows you to share your true self. Well, I am so thrilled that we get to chat with Cat Orsini today, because Cat is an organic marketing and lead generation force multiplier. She really gets this stuff. She's the founder of the Action Incubator and the author of the international bestseller, Experts Never Chase. Love that title. Cat helps service providers shorten their sales cycles by attracting ideal clients into one place, sparking conversations that lead to more high-ticket sales. Cat has engineered over 23 firework experiences that you can use to create your own leveraged, unique, and repeatable process that keeps your pipeline full and hits your revenue targets predictably without requiring all your time. Well, after generating results for over 20 years for a wide variety of businesses, Cat works exclusively with expert service providers who are ready to unapologetically get visible and confidently show the world what they offer, their true selves. Cat, I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you being here.
Oh my God, I'm just smiling just from the words and the way in which you've just infused all of the you-ness, which is the abundance and the gratitude and the just positive energy. I'm on cloud nine right now. So thank you. This is all worth it just for this.
And I'm on cloud nine to have you here because this is a big issue that so many small business owners struggle with. Yeah. Right? We love to do what we do and we love to make a difference for others. And then when it comes to how do we put that into concrete, actionable, strategic stuff in the business, it's just confusing and overwhelming and really frustrating. And being able to chat with someone like you who gets it at a deep, profound level, you have proven processes that make a massive difference. I mean, I just feel really blessed that you could take the time to join us today.
Yeah, it's so interesting because I'm very much an action taker. I'm very, call it masculine energy, things like that. And so this is really providing me an opportunity to stand in my being and more in my feminine. And I so appreciate you allowing to create, because that's a reflection of safety. And when someone creates that safety and instant trust that allows people like me to stand in the feminine and to receive those words and to reflect and look back and be like, oh, my initial response was like, no, I haven't done that much. I was like, you know what? I have done a lot. And thank you for mirroring that to me, because it's not always, said, and it's not always received, because as women, we're very often taught to reject compliments. Oh, I love your shirt. I got it for free, right? Like I found it in the dumpster. And it's just like, or you could say thank you. And so this is me in a very long-winded way saying thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. And, I'm so eager to just dive right in, because I've got a lot of questions for you that I like to set the stage. You were saying the container. And really, we have an opportunity to connect our energy together with everyone listening and watching, and with the God of your understanding. Because it is my knowing, having had a stroke and a conversation with our higher power, we're actually in partnership with our higher power. So I want to sync up our energy, and we're going to do that in two ways. We're going to start by breathing 3 times together. And as we breathe in through the nose, think the words I am. And as we breathe out through the mouth, think the word consciousness. So I am consciousness 3 times. Then I'm going to read an intention. An intention is what we want to create and how we want to feel about it as we are creating it. Yes. It's really powerful, because this is kind of like typing into a spiritual GPS. This is where we want to go. Thank you very much. And it's so powerful because right now, research shows that the average human being has a shorter attention span than a goldfish. And a goldfish has a whole new life every 8 seconds. It's like, it's all new. It's all new. Yeah. So we want to be able to lock in a higher vibration so that the God of our understanding gets where we want to go. And it's not like you and I have a script.
No.
We want to be wide open communicators so that people who are watching or listening can receive exactly what they need most right now. And it all happens because we tie into that intention. Now, We're going to hold that intention for 78 seconds, and it can feel challenging to hold that for 78 seconds in total silence. So there's a couple things that make it easier. Pick 2 or 3 words that you hear from the intention that just sound awesome. They sound so yummy and high vibration and exciting and uplifting. And just repeat those 2 or 3 words over and over again to yourself so you keep that energy high. Then notice what's happening in your body. You might get goosebumps. You might get a rush of heat. Anything like that is just a sign that the God of your understanding has locked into the signal and is already starting to move the energy in the direction you want it to go. So it's a really good sign. Are we ready to play?
Yes.
Yay. Okay. Let's breathe together 3 times. In through the nose, I am. Out through the mouth, consciousness. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. In love and light, we hold the intention that we empower our businesses to brightly shine our lights while serving others, experiencing the joy, fulfillment, and prosperity that comes from sharing our true divine selves. Thank you, divine. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is done. We give thanks, and so it is. Wow, there's a lot of energy around this today.
Yeah.
That was so cool because I felt such a rush of joy, just intense joy and kind of a playfulness. And
Mm.
I had this image of like a radio beacon going out, you know, just helping millions of people. It was such a rush. What
Oh,
was your
wow.
experience like, Kat?
Yeah, no, it definitely was this pulsating, like vibrational, like intensity. And then it was all of a sudden this like huge wave crashed over me. And it was just this serenity and this calm and this infinite limitlessness.
I love that. I love that because, so often I think people make the mistake that, yeah, but I got to do stuff. I got to get busy and do stuff. And
Yeah.
in reality, it's best when we tap into that divine within. We tap into our higher selves and we really get in that centered, balanced, calm, grateful space. I think the most powerful emotion in the universe is grateful curiosity.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It's when you lean in and you want to know more. And I'm leaning in right now because I really want to know more. Kat, tell me more. So obviously you're really passionate about what you do. You've done all these events to bring people together and really ignite a fire under their businesses. What got you started doing this? Why are you so passionate about this?
Oh my God. I am like freakishly passionate about this and in like the best kind of way. I achieved the goal, right? That it was laid in front of me. I got my MBA from the University of Maryland. I had a big falutin corporate consulting thing that I was, gig that I was doing, and I was getting promoted and I was climbing up the ladder and there was no stopping me. And my soul was starving. And I just was like, I can't do this. I can't do this for the rest of my life. I can't just pretend that I'm okay with this. So, trying to make a long story short, I essentially started down the path of getting my coaching certification because that's who I used to help me try to figure out what I wanted. And I realized very quickly I was really good at it. And so what happened was, is as I was growing my business, people started coming to me and saying, you're getting clients. How are you doing it? And so it's just this new path kind of forged in front of me. And most of my life has been a dead end, and me saying, nope, not for me. Like I have an open path. And then all of a sudden it started revealing itself, which was an amazing shift. And so both worlds kind of started colliding. And so there was this strategy consultancy kind of, I'll tell you what to do drive met with this coaching, which is not about telling you what to do. And it's holding this space. And so, a little bit like, dualities, chocolate and mint, peanut butter and jelly, not all at the same time, coming together and making something more powerful. And so over time, I learned from the bro marketers because they were out there and it just was not in alignment for me of this hustle and grind. And I was doing it and I was successful, but I was burning out. And so it'd be just 3 months of hustle, 3 months of, recovery. And I just could not sustain that. And I was like, this is just a little bit more of what it was before. And I'm not here to repeat cycles. And so I made a decision that that's not how I wanted to do business. And the universe listened and said, you're not going to be able to close business until you change how you do work. So for 6 months, I was not able to sell anything. Everything was a no. It didn't matter what I was doing. I was doing more of the same. I was pushing harder. And so I had to take the whiteboard, not only erase it, but I had to take it off the wall and rewrite how I did marketing. And in doing that, it was all about this alignment, this value proposition, this harmony that I wanted to create, this joy, this play. I operate from play. And that's this, this grateful curiosity and that I equate that to play energy. And so I wanted to enjoy the process. I wanted to be happier and more joyful as part of the whole thing, because that was the point of being my own boss, right?
You think? Yeah.
So I did it and I started being really successful again, right? Very quickly. And I was like, this is it. And so I started taking that and teaching my clients, and they were doing the same to the tune of some making 30K in 90 days and some making 400K in 90 days, right? And so this is in addition to what they were making. So I'm taking businesses and multiplying their 6 figures, taking businesses and moving them into the 7 figures, and even supporting businesses to go into multi-7 into 8. And so it was looking at, it's the same process. It's the same thing for every business and every niche and every industry. And it was just so much more enjoyable. And every time it becomes more and more enjoyable because I learn not only from every client, but from every interaction of how I can continue to be my best version in support of them getting bigger results.
I love that, because what I'm hearing you say is you found something that was sustainable for you because it was a platform that you created that allowed you to shine your true light and be your true self.
Right.
You got to experience fulfillment by helping other people get traction in their businesses and experience that self-fulfillment as well.
So, it's the ultimate ripple effect, because it's not just my own pebble in the water. It's hundreds of thousands of pebbles. And it's how we create a tide of change, because these people are people who are amazing at doing what they do. They just happen to not be good at marketing. And most people aren't. And so why not let people who should be more successful actually achieve the summit of their potential?
That's awesome. I love that. Oh, man. So one of the questions that I always ask my guests, because I've never had the same answer twice. So I love asking this. Obviously, the name of the show is The Abundance Journey. How would you define abundance, given the kind of work that you do and the kinds of people that you work with?
I think it's all about a state of being, funny enough. I'm so focused on implementation and action, but it's really around choice and feeling like you have it. There's a lot of times, especially as women, there's, instances where we don't really feel like we have a choice. Now, we are always in choice. I'm not arguing that, but sometimes it feels like the choice is being made for us, whether it's, we feel like it's God, source, universe, broccoli, whatever you want. Or that someone else is dictating the terms. And so when we can really achieve that freedom of choice, which means it incorporates freedom of money, freedom of time, freedom of decision, all of these things, it really allows us to step into our full selves. It creates this abundance because we can say no, we can say yes, and the negative consequences aren't what we're focusing on. We're focusing on the positive consequences of showing up as our best selves.
Yeah, I love that. I really love that. I feel compelled to share something that was a download that I received actually during my stroke when I had the conversation with our higher power. And I was asking about, so why are human beings alive? What's going on here? What's the point? And I was told, look, we want you to do 3 things. And there's a really specific purpose for this. We want you to be more love right now in this moment. Love for yourself and love for others. That's the first thing we want you to do. The second thing we want you to do is notice the love that is already present for you in this moment. And sometimes we play games with you and it's like a scavenger hunt. It's not easy. It's not obvious. You really have to dig under the bushes and figure out, what am I learning? How am I growing? What am I contributing? You got to go get into the weeds, but there's always love present for you. You have to choose to see it. The third thing is get together with other people, because every time you do, you automatically create more love. And quite frankly, darling, they usually call me darling, everything is love. Everything is made up of love. This pen is love. This computer is love. This conversation is love. Everything is love. So think about it for a second. How do you expand love, expand the divine, expand the God of your understanding if everybody is already love and everything is already love?
Oh my God, that ties into my why.
You create human beings who do not realize that everything is love. So we get to experience contrast, the difference between what is wanted and what is not wanted, that gap that we talked about earlier. And then we have a choice. We can step back in fear and be a really big secret. Nobody knows who we are. Or we can step forward in love because we love so much, making a difference for others and being true to who we are. And it's a space of vulnerability because we don't know what's coming. But when we can step in with grateful curiosity, knowing that every moment is a blessing in some way, it's amazing what opens up and what happens.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So tell me about your why. Now I'm curious.
Oh, no. It's just, you were saying that. I'm like, okay, like tapping into my soul here. Why I do what I do has everything to do with love. So I have 5 sisters, and my mother traveled a lot growing up. She was a primary provider for the family. And this is, again, I don't think she really felt like she had a choice. She had a responsibility. This is what was going to be able to do the job. And she did it, and she sacrificed for love of us and providing. And so that meant that she was gone a lot. And, any child and mom relationship is special. A child and father relationship is special, but a child and a mother-daughter relationship is its own thing too. And I needed her more than maybe my other sisters did, and they needed her just as much. And I didn't have that. And I love my mom. We have an amazing relationship. As a parent now of 3 children, I get it. I can understand and empathize. I may not necessarily make the same decisions, but I understand. And so why I do what I do is because I don't want parents to feel like they don't have choice. And so what I mean is if you have a business that you're not stressed about, that you're not anxiously trying to figure out how am I going to make, the money to do this and to do that, and I want to provide more for my children. If I don't have that stress, because I know with certainty that my business will produce a certain revenue amount, and that I know that I'll get the clients, and everything is stacked, in whatever way for what I need plus, right? This isn't about basic needs. This is about what you're desiring. Then imagine how that person shows up in the lives of the people that they love.
Yeah.
Imagine not taking out your frustration on your kids or on the dog or on the grass because you're going to weed whack, super aggressively, right? So just imagine how much better you would take care of yourself, how much better you would interact even with perfect strangers. And so for me, the reason I do what I do is because I want more love to be in the world. And if I can help the person who influences the next generation so that they feel more loved, so that they feel that their parent and their caregiver is present. And whether you have fur babies, you're a caretaker to a parent, or you're just trying to take care of yourself, right? Then that's how we create change in the world and how we infuse more love into it. That's my ripple effect and how I want to have an impact in the world.
I love that. That's so powerful. I really felt that as you were describing it, and seeing the ripples and how it flows out through all of our lives. And we all have the ability to make this kind of a difference. But obviously you've worked with hundreds of different folks over the years, and you've probably noticed certain common symptoms that people are stuck on. What have you noticed where people are getting stuck?
I notice that the biggest place people get stuck is in thinking that there's a shortcut. It's and don't get me wrong, I do believe in things being easier, but I believe in doing the work. And I yell this at the top of my lungs. Do not work with me if you want an easy button approach. That is not who I am. That is not what I'm promising. There is 100% of work that needs to happen. And the people who are successful and not doing all the work is because they have team and they have systems and processes in place, but the work is getting done. It is not, I'm a solopreneur, I'm only doing 40% of the work, and yet I'm receiving 100% of, or 150% of the, whatever outcomes or whatever, all that stuff. We defy physics in terms of reducing the inputs and increasing the outputs by creating leverage, not by pretending that we've achieved a certain level of success by renting a backdrop of a private jet, right? So it's really looking at, are you trying to hack the system, or are you trying to be strategic? I hate work smarter, not harder, because it assumes you are not smart. Most every person I interact with has a very high level of capability, intelligence, and purpose. And so it's not about smart, it's about strategy. And so if you're trying to be lazy, right, and not do what needs to get done, I don't mind somebody else on your team doing it and you staying in your brilliance. Absolutely. Oh, I am here for that. But people who think that they don't have to do and put in the work, sorry, rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah.
And I don't mean you have to be 20 years in the making, but it's the strategy. I've seen people put 20 years in the making and they wasted 19 of those years because they weren't intentional. And I've seen people put 1 year in and achieve more than somebody has in 40 years of business.
Wow. I really love that, because you said not intentional is one of the biggest mistakes. That's what I heard you say.
Yeah.
And of course, we started with an intention. Think I do that for a reason, maybe?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Bring it full circle.
Bring an intention to everything you do, because when you have an intention, you are putting a stake in the ground that the divine, the God of your understanding, can really get behind and help you achieve.
And it really comes down to discipline.
Yeah. Yeah.
Most people know what to do. They're just not doing it. And so part of, what I do is I infuse those components into what I do. So yeah, I'll tell you what to do. Yeah, I have 2,000 templates. Yeah, I have a resource for almost everything in terms of what could keep you stuck in business. But that's not usually what I find to be the issue. The issue is you're getting in your way. And most of us have ADHD. So, we got to figure out how to tap into our brilliance and allow ourselves to shine and give ourselves the grace to do it ugly.
You're leading me into my next question, and this is just the absolute perfect segue. So thank you for that. Perfect setup. I have noticed that whenever I want something in my outside world to change, like maybe all my business systems are set up and everything's working perfectly, that would be lovely. I have to change something inside me first, because usually there is a mental outlook, or there's a something that isn't quite wired right inside me. What have you noticed your clients have to be willing to shift in order to experience that transformation that you're talking about?
They have to go back to trusting themselves.
Oh, gosh, that's juicy.
The people have been burned. They've made the investments 10, 20, 30, 40, 50K, right? They've done the work. They listened. They implemented. That's assuming those are the things that are happening, right? And no results, no real results. And $1 million businesses on paper, but not the green kind, right? And so really looking at least in the US, I love that other countries are why can't we get behind that? Anyway, so, really looking at, that and it like you can see, like it's so stuck and it's so misaligned that I can't even get it out. My body is just kind of like, anyway. So yeah.
I totally get what you're saying. And so it is my firm belief that in order to rebuild trust with yourself,
yes,
that divine connection is really important, because in reality, you are continually guided. But when you are trying to grab onto the answer and the shortcut, you're trying to control everything, you actually narrow your field of vision.
Yes.
And it's more like looking for shooting stars. And if you've ever been outside during the Perseid meteor shower and you want to see shooting stars, sure, you have to look towards the constellation where they come from. Okay. You have to look at that general. Then you activate your peripheral vision so that any little stray bit of light grabs your attention and you actually see the shooting star. And I think we get over focused on, but I don't have the final result yet. I don't have the end result yet. And in reality, we're in the process of climbing a mountain. And it's not about getting to the top of the mountain. It's about getting to the next rest stop. So when you look at the work that you do with your clients, what is 1 or 2 little baby steps that we could start taking now that would get us going in the right direction?
Oh my God. So we're humans. And a lot of times, we're all having a human experience. And what's interesting is so many times people assume that the human experience is negative. And so really stepping in and saying, you know what, maybe I need to look at how I'm making this harder for myself. And so really looking at, do you even enjoy the work that you're doing? So there's 3 things that need to be in place, in my opinion. And I say need, and everyone like word. No, there's just certain fundamental components that need to be in place. You need to love your offer. You need to love your audience. You need to love your marketing. If you do not love, and you see the way I'm saying it, I'm not saying it aggressively. I am saying it with the words and the energy behind it. If you do not love all three of those things at their fullest, that is why you're not achieving more success. And so really looking at, are you making it harder for yourself? And it's simple things like, is the marketing that you're doing, are you enjoying it? Because super scientific, not studied, is that I believe that you will do the things that you enjoy doing. I know they should do like millions of studies on this, but whatever, they haven't. And so here's the thing. If you're not enjoying your marketing, I'm not going to be shocked that you're not doing it. And so really starting to take a look back and saying, where do I not experience joy? And I'm not doing it, but looking at it as from this place of grateful curiosity. How can I create joy with this thing that I don't necessarily innately think that I enjoy? Because here's the thing. There's a lot of people who say things like, I don't have the confidence to do that. And my response is, you're pretty confident about that lack of confidence.
That's so true.
I don't have time to do that. Well, you're spending a lot of time not doing the thing that you know you want to do. And so it really is starting to look at, what perspective are you bringing and how are you being curious and open to solving the problem? Like you said, instead of saying, I have to do it this way, it's just being open to inspiration and open to using both your no's and your yes. And so one simple thing, start looking at, who do you really want to work with? Monetize your passion, not the dollar chase, right? And then look at, how are you marketing? Are you doing it in a way that's joyful? And here's the thing to think about. Is it enjoyable for your client too? So the firework experience concept is based on those two components. What are your strengths? What do you enjoy doing? And what does your ideal client enjoy experiencing? When you have those two things in place, you take 23 different unique strategies and they whittle down to 2 or 3. Those will convert for you because both of those components are in place. So you connect them and you start creating an ecosystem. And so now the client experience doesn't happen at the credit card swipe. It happens from the first interaction. And so they start having this amazing experience from the get-go, instead of you trying to course correct or sell or convince. It is just this beautiful invitation where everybody feels empowered. The person feels empowered to ask what it looks like to work with you. You feel empowered to receive that new client.
I love this. I love this. And, you said something earlier that I'm going to come back to. You talked about the passion that you feel for it and the play, the fun, the joy that it brings you. And it's really interesting. I heard recently about some research that was done, I think in the 1980s, 1990s, by a really well-respected psychotherapist for children. And she did a whole study about the role of play with children and learning. And it turns out that when something is playful, you learn it 40 times faster. Well, it takes 40 times more effort and repetition to learn something when you're just learning nose to the grindstone, get it done. When you're having fun and having a great time, then it doesn't take all that effort. It's not a struggle. It's not a strain. And
it's
honestly,
not work.
I experience the divine as effervescent joy. Just over the top, happy, delighted, excited, silly, playful. And they're always getting after me to lighten up, sweetie. This stuff is supposed to be fun. Why are you making it so hard on yourself?
Right. Yeah. And it's a choice. One of the things I love, I love movies. And one of the things I love is, in the Inside Out movie, at the very beginning of the movie, everything is so black and white, very, very sometimes childlike, right? There's sad memories, there's happy memories, angry memories, envious memory, things like that, right? And then as you move on through the movie, if you notice, the balls start, the memory balls, if you're familiar with the movie, start having multiple colors in them. And so that's the opportunity that we have. We can have a singular experience and we can look at it from one perspective and only see sadness. And you were talking about this too. Or you can shift the perspective, same ball, same memory, same experience, just a slight perspective shift, and you see the joy and the love in it. And that is all within our power. So yeah, trauma. I've had big T's and little T's. And one of the compliments that I kind of get is, you don't look like you've been through that much. And I'm telling you, that's not the case. I have been through a lot, and people have it worse, people have it better. But it's all around, and if we just look at it from a business perspective, something happens, a client quits, a client doesn't pay, you didn't hit your target, whatever the negative thing is, right? Someone said something mean online or trolled you or whatever it is. It really is around, are you going and tapping into paranoia kind of energy, or are you tapping into pronoia? And my choice is, okay, I'm human. I'm going to have a negative reaction, right? Let me have it. I can work on resetting and regrounding. So it just takes a few seconds, a few minutes, depends on the situation. Maybe it takes a day. It used to take a week. It used to take, however long time. My ability to get back up is much shortened. And then what I can do is I can look at that experience and say, where is the gift in this? And so that client didn't pay. Great. What was the orange or yellow flag that I dismissed because it was just a red flag that had been hanging out in the sun too long, right? What did I accept? What did I tolerate? How did I make an exception? Or if I didn't, how can I implement a system and a process moving forward so that I don't attract more of that into my life? What was going on in me, like you were sharing earlier? And so every time something happens that is an energetic frequency that does not serve me, that I no longer desire to have in my body, I look at, where is this mirrored also in my life? If I'm having something, because we're talking about business, if there's something that's going on, let's say with a client, or something's not happening in the way that I want, or I didn't get the speaking gig that I want, is there something that I'm tolerating or that is negative, that is pulling my energy, that would cause that to be pulled into me?
Yeah.
And so releasing that from within me allows other things to be released as well.
Oh, Cat, I think we were separated at birth. This is just such a good conversation. I'm really enjoying this. But you are so generous, not only with all of the things that you've shared with us today, which is amazing. You also offered a really spectacular free gift. I'm definitely taking you up on this one, but could you tell everybody about it?
Yeah, so this is the mixer, right? And so what I do is I love creating community. So yes, I have ADHD. Yes, I overshare. Yes, I overtalk. So apologies. Sorry, not sorry. It's who I am. I accept myself. So I have a podcast mixer. It's a community of just very similar people as me, similar people as you, good people who are connecting, who are using visibility as a strategy to reach a bigger audience. So whether you're a host, a guest, a speaker, even a content creator, this is where we connect each other to opportunity. And so we don't just learn about what we do, we learn who we are, because you're more likely to support someone you like than someone who you just know what they do. And so it's an hour every Friday, every second Friday of the month. And so it's complimentary. And when you access it, you also get access to a free training on how to monetize your podcasting efforts, either as or both a host and guest.
Love it. Love it. And I'm definitely going to sign up. I cannot wait to attend. Yeah.
And you can find it at leadbossmixer.com. So
and I'll make sure that all the links are in the show notes too. So don't worry about writing it down real fast. You'll get access to this. Now, one of the things that we always do, Kat, we always turn the tables on our guests, because we know that when we give, it's when we truly receive the most. So what can we do to support you?
I'm lost for words, because this is exactly the experience, which is most often we're giving and we don't always receive. And so this is an amazing thing. So for me, it's, if there are places where you think I could add value and I could speak and share, and that is plenty for me. I would love to be able to share value in your community, or to connect, even if it's just on LinkedIn. I just love connecting with amazing human beings, and I want to collect as many of them in my life as possible.
Oh, man. Absolutely. All over your social media, and it's all going to be in the show notes for sure. Okay, so you've created a bit of a problem. I've got 4 pages of notes. Oh, no. I was writing as fast as I could because, oh my gosh, what you shared was so freaking brilliant. I'm going to have a tough time picking one, but Wow, what a blessing. What a treat. Thank you so much for your time today, Kat. I cannot thank you enough.
It's just been a pleasure and just a real gift to me, honestly. And I will say, and I've heard this a million times from other people, but one of the best interviews and interactions that I've ever had. And I have done well over 100 different podcasts and even interviewed 100 other people. And so, just thank you for just being amazing.
Oh, my pleasure. Back at you. Oh, everybody, stick around because I'm going to figure out what we're going to do, and we're going to activate abundance in just a minute. Hi, it's Elaine Starling, the Abundance Ambassador. And I know since you're listening to this show or watching this show, The Abundance Journey, you really want to experience more abundance in your life. Well, that's why I wrote the book, 5 Steps to Activate Your Abundance. It's available for sale right now from Amazon, from barnesandnoble.com, and many international sellers. And I want you to pick up a copy because I'm really opening the kimono here and sharing all of the information you need to experience abundance in every single aspect of your life. The book's divided into 3 parts. Part 1 is called Meeting the Divine. This is where I share my near-death experience and the conversation I got to have with our higher power during my stroke. In Part 2, Messages from the Divine, I share the best practices that I was given, the secret sauce in how life actually works. And so you understand really why you're here and how you can make the most of your life so you love every single moment. And then in the Part 3 is Partnering with the Divine. That's where I go into each of the 5 steps to activate your abundance and explain exactly why it works so well. So take a moment to pick up a copy. It's available as an ebook, a paperback book, an audiobook, and a video course. So however you like to absorb information, abundance is waiting for you. That is amazing. Oh my gosh, such a wealth of information. She was just so brilliant. I couldn't write fast enough. I'm going to have to go back and thank heaven I get to go through and create the transcript that goes in the show notes because I'll really get to savor every word. So step 1 is gratitude. Honestly, when we step into a situation, any situation, with that sense of grateful curiosity, that's why it felt like a fire hose of information. Because I was ready to receive all the blessings that Kat brought to us today. So I'm super grateful to Kat for being so incredibly generous and just such a cool person. She's fun. I like that about her. Second thing, step 2, acknowledge something you heard that was an aha for you. And this really hit home. When Kat was saying the biggest thing that holds people back is that they don't trust themselves. I mean, you're such an incredibly loving person. You are so kind. You are so thoughtful. You are so generous. And you are eager to give to others. And so often we forget that we need to give to ourselves too. It's when we stop giving to ourselves that we stop trusting ourselves. Yeah, it's so important that we acknowledge our progress. We acknowledge what we've learned. We express gratitude for who we are and how we are being. That was a real game changer. I so appreciated Kat bringing that up because, wow, that stops people cold. And when you want to get back in the groove and get in action and feel on your game, ready to thrive, you trust yourself. You believe in yourself. You encourage yourself. In fact, all the research shows you won't believe anybody else. The only person you believe is you. So what are you saying to yourself? And how are you trusting yourself? Step 1 is gratitude. Step 2 is to acknowledge something you heard that was an aha for you. Step 3 is to appreciate the difference it can make in your life. This was a really important distinction because now I know when I start to slow down or I stop myself from anything, it's like, aha, I'm not trusting myself. Aha, Why am I not trusting myself? What am I telling myself that is not true about me? Because I know my heart, I know my commitment, I know my passion, and I can tap into that. I can own my truth so I can share it. But it's only when I remember, if I trust myself, I'm owning my truth. When I don't trust myself, I'm not owning my truth. And that's when I hide. That's when I don't share my light. And trust me, I'm guilty of all of these things. So I'm not pointing fingers at anybody. I'm pointing them at me. And I don't want to push this on anybody either. But in case you happen to see yourself in this too, step 4, we're going to activate abundance. This is where we go from concept to creating it real, tangible, physical things that you experience. And you experience it also in your body as an emotion. So what I'm going to do is notice when I'm not trusting myself. 3 different ways I can do that. The first way is to grab a calendar and schedule time to get it done. I also count journaling here because so often, we have all these thoughts going through our heads, and when you write it down, you put it on paper, then all of a sudden you get this objective perspective. And that's when I can notice, oh, wait a minute, I'm not trusting myself here. I was busy complaining about somebody else or some situation, but I'm not looking inside. I wasn't looking at me. And that's where everything has to change first. I have to trust myself first, and then I can get where I want to go. Yeah, really profound. Journaling, great step. Second way to activate abundance, create a physical trigger like crossing your fingers or tugging on your earlobe. It's a really great way to remind yourself, okay, I am going to trust myself, be my true authentic self, share my truth. I'm going to spread my light. I am not worried about what other people think, whether they judge me. I'm coming in from a playful, joyous, loving space. And you know what? When I show up and I'm silly and I'm ridiculous and I'm outrageous and I'm having an awesome freaking time, it gives everybody else the permission to relax and have fun and laugh and be silly too. And then all of a sudden, we're having a blast and we're getting so much more done, so much faster than we would if we had to be very strict and straight-laced and just the rules and just the facts, ma'am. No. Play with it, have fun with it, be silly. In fact, tell people, hey, I'm pulling on my ear because it's a reminder. I got to trust myself. I got to share my true self with you because I love you too much not to do anything else. I don't think I said that right. I love you too much to do anything else. Kind of backwards. I was on a roll, but it kind of went the wrong way. Okay, the third way to activate your abundance is to declare what you're going to do. I am declaring, I choose to trust myself. I choose to notice those times when I accidentally forget to trust myself because I'm a human being and I will do that. It's not about falling out of alignment. It's about how quickly I get back into alignment. And everything Kat was talking about is how she helps her client quickly regain alignment. I love that. Now, it really helps if you've got an accountability buddy or a coach, someone who knows you and understands what your priorities are. And they can call you on it. They're like, your truth is, are you really living that? Are you demonstrating that in a loving, playful, joyous, celebratory way? I think you're playing a little small there. You said you wanted to step up. Why don't you join us? Because honestly, we all crave your light. We all are desperate for your light because your light ignites our light. Step 5, celebrate your progress. Remember, we were talking about that mountain, and it's not about getting to the top of the mountain. It's about looking at the baby steps. It's about feeling it in your body first, feeling that joy, that commitment, that inner trust, and knowing that you are guided in every moment to be the fullness of who you are. And whenever you slip a little bit, you can trust yourself again. You really can. And honestly, we breathe together 3 times. I am consciousness. Our energy is permanently connected forever. Even if you never see me again, we are connected. And I believe in you. I've got your back and I trust you. So please trust yourself. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you next time for the Abundance Journey.
You've been listening to the Abundance Journey Show with Elaine Starling. Visit theabundancejourney.com/podcast gifts to access today's gift, as well as gifts from our other guests. Tune in every week to activate abundance in your life and business. If something resonated with you, please share it with your friends so they can benefit too. Keep activating abundance, and we'll see you in the next episode.